How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I'm going to be breaking down all the trades that I took last week. We had a busier week actually. We took a fair few more trades and we ended up 6% for the week, which was really good. And yeah, I'm going to show you also a missed trade that we had today. It's just a trade that didn't come in, unfortunately, but I'll still show it to you just so you can see what we were looking for. But I'll explain each of my trades. If you want to know really in depth how I took each trade, there'll be a link to my Telegram in the description. Feel free to check it out, but there's no pressure to. But yeah, anyway, let's go over to the charts and I will show you the trades. All right, as you can see, we are at the charts now, and we're just going to be talking through each trade that we took here. If you want to see the entries to the trades, there'll be a link to my Instagram in the description as well. Feel free to go and check that out. I post all my entries I take. But yeah, let's take a look at the first position that we took. I'm not sure how many of these I've shown or talked about already, but I'll still talk about all of them anyway. So this was our first position here. This was a buy that we had for 3%. And it was quite a good buy. This we actually took on the Sunday, late at night, around 11 I think it was. As you can see, very simply, we had a break of this high that pushed down, and a break of this high technically as well. Once we broke those highs, I was looking for price to come back into this area, you know, retest. I guess you could look at it as an order block or structure or a fill of certain fair value gaps, whatever it is you want to call it. I just used it as structure. And then once we came into that structure on the Friday, gap down, failed to break below it, and then pushed back up. I entered in here, and it was just a very simple 1 to 3 with a TP of the previous high. That's what we were looking for price to take. So that was the first position we took. You know, very simple, very clean trade for 3%. Then this position here we took live on stream. This again was quite an easy, simple trade, and you'll notice this with a lot of my trades. There isn't much marking up to it. It's very, you know, very minimal, very simple, very basic trading. But basically what happened was we had this push up to the highs here, and what I was looking for was price to break like a significant low, because to sell when we're, you know, quite clearly making lows that are going up, you know, it's a bit risky to sell. So I wanted a major break to the downside, or a major low to break, which was really this low that kind of did the big sweep push up. So when price came to this low and just punched straight through it with these two candles here, that was kind of like a good sign to get in. And very simply, I just entered on the retest area of here. I got in a little bit late, and then we had to hold a lot of drawdown actually. It was quite a lot of drawdown, and this was only just over a 2% trade, because we started rejecting here. And when we reject, you know, sort of 3-4 times into an area, that's kind of a good sign for me to get out. So I did, and luckily we did, because it did come back to, you know, our entry. And then I don't think it would have ever got to a 1 to 3. It might have down here, but you know, is what it is. So that's the two trades there. So right now we're up just over 5%, I believe. Then we had our loser here. This was a riskier position. You know, we had this low here and we had this big push down, which kind of, if I mark it on, it did just break and close below. And then obviously we had that pull up and then proper close below here. So I did have a feeling that we were going to sell to the downside. And so I just thought that a retest of this zone, sort of this area here, was what I was sort of looking at. And if you look, if we go onto if we go onto replay here, to like here, you can see that we did actually reject into this area a lot of times. So I was quite confident in this sell. That being said, it didn't hold. You know, it's not a big deal. It did stop us out, which brought us down to 4%. Annoyingly, it did stop us out, and then it would have gone to our TP. But you know, you can't win every trade, you know, in the world. Then this was the last position of the week. This was on Thursday. We took this. Now, the reason we took this was we had this high here, pushed down, and broke these lows here. So this was the high I was interested, and when price came down, it pushed up and broke above. That was a good sign that GU wanted to buy. And very simply, our entry was quite similar to the entry over here. As you can see, again, retested this area. We did a retest into this area like this, and I got my entry right on this wick. I don't know if I posted this entry on my Instagram, but I can put a screenshot up somewhere here on the screen for you to see the entry to prove, you know, that I did get in where I say I get in. And this one was only a 2% trade. Reason being, we have this high here that I was looking to actually break. My full target was around 3%, so this wick here. However, we did close early at just over, it was just over 2% like that, because as you can see, we wicked in once, twice, 3 times into the high, and we couldn't break it. So when we wick into it a few times and fail to break, that's my sign to get out, and thankfully we did, because that would have stopped us out. So that brought us to 6% for the week. Now, for the trade today, this was the trade that we missed. I annoyingly don't have a screenshot of the limit, but you're just gonna have to trust that I wanted to take this position. But I'm gonna explain to you why I was looking to take this sell here. Very simply, we had this high here and this low here, so we're still in that, you know, bullish structure, so to speak. However, what you can see here is, oh, let me get rid of that. However, what you can see is that this high failed to break this high. So that's our first indication of a potential reversal, when the high is failed to be broken. That's sort of the first sign. Now, really what we're looking for is a break of this low or this low. These are the sort of lows that we're looking for to, you know, enter that bearish structure. And I was expecting some sort of volatility today. I didn't expect it to drop this much maybe in one day, but I was expecting it to, you know, be a bit more volatile because it was very sideways last week. So as I said, we failed to break this high here twice. Technically we came down and then failed to break it again. And just an example of my TP thing, say I entered here, right, for a buy, we had 10 pip stops, which actually looks quite big. We can probably get away with 8 at the moment, but say we were in this buy. If you look here, what happens, price breaks this high, but then we look for it to break this high, but it wicks once, twice, 3 times into the area, and that would be our sign to get out. If we didn't get out there, we could have got out here for maybe like 0.5%, but either way, I didn't take this position, so it doesn't matter. Reason being that it was way before my session. Normally I like to trade London, sometimes New York, it does depend, but this entry would have been at midnight last night, so that's why I didn't take it. And GU is absolutely plummeting, I mean, insane. But anyway, so failed to break the high. Then what happens is we have this low here, and we have this low here, like so. And as you can see, we punch straight through it. Really good breaks. However, this low doesn't really break here as well, but this low definitely. Now, where I probably should have been more intelligent here with was I was actually looking for price to retest a little bit higher than where it marks. Now, the reason why is if you look here, you've got this wick here. This is a fair value gap or an imbalance, whatever you want to call it. But they like to be filled, and as you can see, price did come and fill it. I just had it slightly too high for where I thought it was going to come to, which is fine. We did just miss out on the 3%, but it is only a Monday, and to be honest, I didn't expect this kind of price for a bank holiday Monday, but you know, the game is the game. But anyway, that was the week last week, 6%. fairly good. Can't really complain about that. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you thought of the trades, and if you guys, as I said, would like to know how to trade properly, there'll be a link to my Telegram in the description. And yeah, I hope you have a good trading week, and I am back to uploading more consistently now, so hopefully you guys will enjoy the videos. But have a good trading week, and I will see you in the next one.